the 8 ball early is the recruiting. He's not inheriting a roster full of talent. Now, they have some talent, but it's the depth. And you've heard Jason Caldwell talk about it on this show. They just don't have the depth in certain spots. Now, luckily the climate's different, so he's already Scott, good Lord, we're definitely going to need a magazine or a roster card or whatever, because Auburn's already turned over near half the roster.
Do they still sell programs at games anymore?
Man, that was I'm going to tell a story real quick. I was exasperated at the SEC basketball tournament. They do a great job of feeding you. They do a great job of running that.
Right.
But now everything's digital.
That's what I'm saying.
I went up to this guy and I said, "Excuse me, sir, is there any way I can get a box score?" He looked at me like I had 3 heads. He's like, "A paper one?" I was like, "Yeah, they don't give those out anymore." He looked at me, he paused, he goes, "Well, no, they only print a few of them in here, and then they give them to the coaches and certain people. And they didn't give them to the media. If you don't have an iPad or a phone, you're screwed."
That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if they printed.
At least at the NCAA tournament, I went to Birmingham. It was neat. Every time out, man, they're giving me a piece of paper. I was like, wow.
You're going to have to adapt.
Yeah, I'm like, everything. And I'm like, I even was trying to find a program. You have a program for the SEC tournament? Hell no.
That's what I was wondering. Do they still print game programs for people to buy?
They did in the NCAA tournament. I found one.
Did you find one?
Oh, I found a couple.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I got a couple programs. I hooked up one of our listeners. They're like, "Hey, they got a program." I was like, "They do at the NCAA tournament at least." I was like, "They didn't at the SEC. It's terrible."
Oh, we got to get a break in. When we come back, phone lines open to you to wrap up.
Let me first admit before we go on break here, though, I don't really buy magazines anymore. They cost $12. Lindy's magazine used to be $5. Now it's $12. Okay.
You know what? Before it stopped printing,
yeah,
Huntsville Times, doesn't print anymore.
Yeah,
period.
Right.
It was $5.
Was that regular or just the Sunday paper?
Just a regular Huntsville
Times. I think the Sunday
Times
paper was like $8 or $9.
$5 for a paper that wasn't even printed here.
Wow. I used to pay like a quarter.
It used to be like 70, yes, and it was like $1.25 or something for a Sunday paper. Yeah,
you needed 5 quarters.
Yeah. Because it was thick and had all the coupons in it and everything. Oh,
by the end of that, it was like $9. How the hell do you get $9 worth of quarters? What do? You just put your card in there?
They don't even have that thing anymore. Those little paper boxes are gone.
My Lord.
Oh, got to.
That's basically what you'd have to do, I guess.
I don't. Now we don't even have a printed paper.
Yeah, you know why we don't? Because of idiots like Joseph Goodman. Next question.
Break in. Talking Ball returns 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck westbound on 565 near County Line. Apparently a big truck involved in that one. No report of injury, but it may take a few more minutes before it's ready to clear. And we just got one at Oakwood and Pulaski Pike. Sounds like that one's also being reported as a no injury. You could fly Breeze nonstop to Orlando, Las Vegas, Tampa, or Charleston, starting at just $49. What are you waiting for? You could get to the fun faster. You can book at flybreeze.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhsriserealestate.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Feed your rhythm at Rhythm on Monroe in downtown Huntsville. Located inside the Von Braun Center at the corner of Clinton Avenue and Monroe Street, Rhythm has everything you're looking for to have that perfect evening. Dinner, drinks, and live entertainment. Check out our Facebook page to see this week's local musician lineup. Find your rhythm and feed your rhythm at Rhythm on Monroe. Visit the menu and make reservations at rhythmonmonroe.com. Parking at the Von Braun Center is discounted when you provide your receipt at Rhythm on Monroe. One of the best-kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today, 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge. Championship quality, affordable prices.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Who knows comfort? Well, comfort is our middle name. If your home isn't as comfortable as you want it to be, we can fix that. We service all makes and brands of heating and cooling systems, even if we didn't install them. So give us a call. Environmental Comfort Systems. Visit our website at envcomfort.com. We are your independently owned American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Alabama license number 92314. Environmental Comfort Systems. That's envcomfort.com.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. And, you know, we brought up programs, and it brought up memories, though, for me, of going to, when I was a kid, I would go to our minor league ball club, which was the Cedar Rapids Reds.
Yeah.
We were the A affiliate to the Cincinnati Reds back in the day, and this was in the 80s. When Chris Sabo, Eric Davis, all of those guys that came up into the Reds in the late 80s were all came through there. Mm-hmm. And I remember getting the game programs because you had to get the game program, and then you would open it up. In the middle, there would be a scorecard.
A box scorecard,
But you could go get that autographed. All the players would line up there, and that's what you used to get the autograph. So you had the game program that would be autographed, and you would keep them.
Mm-hmm.
What do kids do today?
I don't know. I guess they get a.
What do they do?
I guess they go buy a baseball, or, you know, Brooks Bryant. He's got the Champ Sports cards. Maybe they buy the cards, and because they still do the cards.
I never really got the cards. I just had the program, and then they would sign their little picture in the program.
I got a hat sign, but I know what you're talking about. I mean, that used to be the thing. You would buy a program.
Yep.
And you would if you didn't get a foul ball by chance, you would buy a program and then get it signed.
Yeah, that's what you would do.
Because it was the cheapest thing to do because, again, a lot of times.
It was only like $3 or $5 back then. I mean, it wasn't much for a program.
But, again, it wasn't one of those things where, like, it's not like they sold baseballs at the stadium. A lot of times you would have to get lucky to get a foul ball and get it signed. Or you might do it yourself. Go to a sporting goods store, buy a baseball, bring a baseball with you to get signed. But again, you'd have to. That's something and wear your glove. All kids wear gloves, but I mean that's the way you would do it. But 90% of the time, you're right. That was how they sold programs. You would buy the program with the scorecard in it.
Yeah, you would keep score. Yeah, you could keep score if you wanted to.
There you go. Or you'd find their picture in the program. And they would sign their photo.
Yeah, that's what they would. There would be just a little photo in there.
There you go.
And then the parents would always want it because there was always like a number in there or whatever. They'd always draw
if they call this
prizes
number.
or whatever.
If we call your program number, you win like a week's supply of McDonald's cheeseburger or whatever.
It was something,
something.
Yeah.
And you'd have to come up to the press box to claim your prize. Yeah.
All right, 256-576-4977. Just a weird stroll down memory lane. All right.
Oh, Lord.
What?
Red Drinkard bringing up the fact Chris Sabo used a corked bat. I mean, who didn't in those days, man?
I was like 8. I didn't care. I didn't know.
I mean, the worst ever was Albert Bell, man. He swung the bat one time, and what was it, like 7 bouncy balls came out? He tried.
Sammy Sosa had that too. Remember
I'll never forget Albert Bell. He denied it, denied it, kept saying it was flex and all this crap. And then he cracked it, and the damn thing, it was like a bomb went off.
Albert Taco Bell's.
Yeah. I mean, he had an anger management issue too. But I mean,
he had a lot of stuff.
I mean, I'll never forget, the bat blew up, and I've never seen more bouncy balls in all my life.
Things just flew out of that bat.
And then I remember Sammy Sosa's too, and Sammy, I think he tried to play it off like it wasn't his bat.
Like something like the bat boy gave him the wrong bat or something.
Which is a lie. Just like it was, he got so mad that when he didn't use steroids, wink, wink.
Brandon is with us this morning. Good morning, Brandon. 94, by the way, the corkback incident.
Oh, man.
Good morning, Brandon.
At Fulton County Stadium, you used to get a program, and it had the inside of the back cover, it had the fillable stat sheet.
Yeah.
You would do every inning, so you would do it yourself, so you would keep up with it. You used to get those. And I think it would tear out.
Yeah.
In the later days, so you would go through there and fill all that out yourself. But I remember being a kid, and I was wondering, what are all these people doing? And you had people that was keeping the stats every inning in the seat.
Yeah.
And that's a lost art that you don't see people doing very much of anymore.
Well, when I was a student at Alabama for a long time, I had done it during the summers for a travel team. I used to go to Bama baseball games and carry my own scorebook, and I would fill out the lineup that they would announce, and I would buy a scorecard, so I had the roster in front of me for the other team. And I would fill in both sides, and I would chart every game. So I just enjoyed it because it kept me, involved in the game. But, yeah, I mean, no question about it. It is a lost art. A lot of people don't do that anymore. I mean, I know Alabama super baseball fan Roger Myers, I believe he does it. But, yeah, he just and he even tweets it. He'll tweet you play-by-play with each batter. But, yeah, man, I mean, it's a lost art. Matter of fact, when I was moving, Brandon, a couple years ago, I think I found a lot of those scorebooks because I didn't throw them away because I was like, what are these? And I started looking through them. I was like, oh, wow, like late 90s Alabama baseball, going and keeping score.
1983.
Uh-oh.
That was the Chris Sabo Cedar Rapids Reds. The manager was Bruce Kim.
And he was like a
lifelong major league bench coach.
Like a bench coach kind of guy.
Yeah, he ended up doing a lot, but yeah. Rob Dibble was on some of those teams in 85, 84.
So did he short circuit back then? Because I'm going to tell you what, I've never seen him and Lou Piniella. I mean, they went fist to fist.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
I mean, talking about getting into a fist fight in the clubhouse.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Brandon.
You could take your program and go to the apparel stands, what I called it when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
And if you bought a program, you could get a pack of Donruss or Upper Deck. I think it was for 50 cents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could get a pack of cards, and if you were lucky, you could get one. If you got a rated rookie of somebody that was on the team. Like I got one from Chipper Jones, but I never did get him to sign it.
Oh wow!
But that was always great that at Fulton County they would do that. They would give you some discounted baseball cards if you bought a program, which was great if you were a kid and you collected all those cards, which I wish I still had some of them. It's kind of like reading album covers. That's a lost art too.
Well, did you keep that rated rookie? Because it'd be worth something. He's in the Hall of Fame.
I wish I could find it.
Wow.
Wow.
There's just a lot of memories. I mean, It's weird. That's why I was wondering. I don't think they sell, I know they sell programs now, but I don't think they're the same as what they used to be. I guarantee you they're not as cheap as what they used to be if you bought them now.
No, the NCAA program at the Birmingham was $20.
Yeah. Yeah. Too much. All right.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep. Coming up tonight, if you go to Toyota Field, you probably won't be able to buy a game program. Alabama, Middle Tennessee State. Alabama head coach Brad Bohannon will join us next. Talk a little college baseball.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NCAA Final Four is set. It'll be FAU battling San Diego State on April the 1st. San Diego State opens as a 1.5 favorite. FAU plus 105 on the money line. The over-under is 131.5. UConn a 5.5 point favorite against Miami. The Hurricanes at plus 195 on the money line. The over-under is 149. Connecticut, the favorite to win the title at minus 120. San Diego State plus 400. Miami plus 500. Florida Atlantic a plus 625 long shot. This year's title game Monday, April 3rd.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Like that, it is hour 2. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Welcome back into the show. Coming up tonight over at Toyota Field. You're going to want to make sure you download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. Coming up at 6 o'clock, Alabama will take on Middle Tennessee State inside Toyota Field in Madison. It is the first ever trip for Alabama to Madison, but not the first ever trip for Alabama to the Tennessee Valley, Huntsville, Madison metro area. It'll be the 14th trip for Alabama to make its way up here. Now, the other 13 meetings have come inside Joe Davis Stadium. Alabama 7-6 all time when they play in Huntsville. They're 0-0 when they play in Madison, so that's good. The last one, 2015, when they took on Mercer. That was the last trip that they made their way up here. This will be the 30th time, though, that they will face MTSU, but the first time since 2020.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're super excited to have Alabama come up to the Rocket City in Madison to be at Toyota Field, home of the Trash Pandas, tonight to take on Middle Tennessee. Alabama 19-6 right now, 2-4 in the Southeastern Conference, which is by far and away the toughest baseball league in America. When you have at least half your conference rated in the top 25, Alabama has been ranked just about all season as well. They've come off 2 really tough series on the road at Florida, at home against Kentucky. Both those teams, Florida in the top 5 in the country, Kentucky ranked right now under Nick Mingione. Both those series could have gone Alabama's way, but it's so razor thin in the SEC right now, and the competition is so great. To tell you the truth, Scott, you look at Ole Miss, the defending national champ, Mississippi State champs 2 years ago, they're combined 0-12 in the conference. That's how tough it is right now in the SEC. But certainly we're looking forward to Alabama coming to town, and we've got Brad Bohannon, the baseball coach at the University of Alabama, who's been so generous with us in the past and today as he brings his squad to our area later this evening. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing great.
Well, it's great to have you. We were just kind of talking about the beginning of conference play. I know in a lot of times these midweek games and these games when you come to a venue like this, it's in the before conference play starts. This year, it's just after conference play has got underway. As we said, it's been a little bit of a tough beginning, but a hit here, a pitch here. You guys could easily be 4-2 instead of 2-4 in this league. And I know you guys are confident in the ball club you've built this year.
Yeah, I really like our team, Drew, and coulda, woulda, shoulda, but you look down at the Florida series, we lost the game 3-0. The second game of the series, we had the lead going into the bottom of the ninth and couldn't close it out. Friday night against Kentucky, we lose in extra innings. So you're right. We definitely should be 3-3. We could easily be 4-2, but we're not. We're 2-4, and it's a good lesson to our guys that everything matters. Every pitch matters. Every 90 feet matters, and we got to do a little bit better job executing late in the game on the weekends if we want to finish the season the way that we think that we can.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you get MTSU tonight, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but you come off against you have a ranked series against Florida, a top 5 team, and then you have Kentucky, which is inside the rankings. And then, Coach, now you got to go on the road again to go on to 6th-ranked Arkansas this weekend. We talk about how good the SEC is week in and week out, but that is just an awful tough stretch to start the year.
It is. You can get depressed if you look at the schedule. So I try to just look at it one game at a time. The one positive is having some of these trips out of the way, and that's the only way that you can look at it. And we got done down in Gainesville, and I thought we played really well all weekend. I think Florida, they're one of the best teams I've ever seen in college baseball. If LSU's better than Florida, I'm not really excited to go to Baton Rouge, to be quite honest with you. But we competed really well. We were in every game. We didn't feel overwhelmed. So we've made some tremendous strides with our program, and we need to take a step forward this year, and I really think that we're going to finish the season strong.
Yeah, no question, Coach. I had a chance to see you guys against High Point in the second game on that Saturday series, and on Saturday in that series. And I know that was kind of a deal where the Pepperdine situation, because of weather and situation like that, you had to pivot in the schedule. But I was impressed because that game you fell down 6-0, but the pitching stabilized, and then the lineup, and you've got some older guys in your lineup. The lineup was really strong 1 through 9. The way you guys swung the bats. Drew Williamson back for an extra year for you guys. I think it's something. I was just looking at some of the videos, and you were talking about previewing this game. It's the depth of the lineup, and then the depth in the pitching staff that I think you're trying to develop this year, and I think it seems as you're more confident in it.
I do like our lineup. I think going into the season, one of the biggest areas that we had to improve upon from the past couple of years is we just needed to be better offensively, and I do think we are. We're in the top third of the league in most offensive categories, and we've got a nice mix of left and right. It's a physical lineup. It's older. We do rely on extra base hits, and this weekend the wind was blowing in, and that's not a strength of our club. The base pass in the short game. We're a team that needs to hit some doubles and home runs, and we've done that on the most part this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the pitching. Jacob McNary will get the start tonight.
Athens.
Solid outing, I think, in his last one. Talk about the pitching so far.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for Jacob to pitch tonight from Athens, which isn't too far up the road from you guys, so I know there'll be a bunch of folks from Athens, Alabama there tonight. And Jacob's, it's his 5th year of college. He's a big-time strike thrower. He's going to work, 90, 91. He's got a really good changeup, a solid breaking ball in a pounds of strike zone, and he's at his best when he's really sinking that ball at the bottom of the zone. And I feel like he's gotten better every time out. He scuffled a little bit early, just wasn't sharp, and I feel like every outing that he's had, he's gotten better. So we're expecting a really good start out of him tonight. Our bullpen's pretty fresh. We only used one guy in relief on Sunday, that wouldn't be available tonight, so pretty much all of our, best relievers are available. So hoping to get 4 or 5 innings, 65, 80 pitches out of Jacob, and then we'll empty the bullpen.
Well, and Coach, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about this guy, because he's one of the greatest players that's ever come through our city. He played professional baseball in the old ballpark for the team, the professional team, the Huntsville Stars, that was there, the first one that we ever had here. He was a Southern League Player of the Year. I know he was kind of a trailblazer here, because he's the first 8th grader I remember playing varsity baseball, and he was that good. He started. But talk about Hunter Morris being part of your program, being the hitting coach. This team offensively has been near the top of the SEC for most of this season. I know it's the second year with your program, but talk about Hunter being a part of your staff and what he's been able to accomplish.
Yeah, this will be a fun night for Hunter getting back home, and I know he'll get to see a lot of folks. And one of the neat things about Hunter, as it relates to the kids, he has done everything as a player that our kids dream of doing. Right? He was the SEC Player of the Year. He started as a freshman in the league. He was, the SEC Player of the Year. He's a high draft pick. Had a tremendous professional career. So, it's pretty cool for our players that he can really relate to them in regards to, what they want to accomplish as players. So, he's done a great job. He's a really good person. He's got a really good demeanor with the kids, connects with them really well, and obviously has spent a lot of time at the ballpark and in the batting cage.
Brad Bohannon, Alabama head baseball coach, joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline this morning. The Tide will travel to Toyota Field to take on MTSU tonight, 6 o'clock first pitch. Scoring runs, I know you mentioned you got to hit the ball, home runs, and you guys have had, 44 home runs already this season. But scoring runs, though, it's been an impressive clip so far. When you score runs, you score a lot of them.
Yeah, I think, as I mentioned earlier, it's an older group of position players. It's a physical group. And, we're at our best when we're getting extra base hits. And, our guys, to this point, they've done a pretty good job of controlling the strike zone. We typically make you throw it over the plate. And if you can get a double or a home run with people on base, that's a quick way to put up a crooked number. And when we've had success this year, that's, what we've been able to do.
Well, and Coach, it's hard to believe how many years it's already been because he's already a junior. We had him in the studio when he committed before his senior season. I know he's started 21 games for you, played in 23, but he's coming home as well. His teammate, Dylan Ray, was a part of your program for 2 years. He's already with the Diamondbacks. You guys developed him into a really good relief pitcher. He's got a bright future in professional baseball. Talk about Caden Rose, and he's had a remarkable career from the standpoint. He was a shortstop and a middle infielder in high school for Jared Smith at Bob Jones, but he's been able to go to center field for you and transition there. He's also played second base. I know he's played a little bit of third in his career. He's a very versatile player. But talk about Caden Rose and what the part of the program he's been.
Yeah, Caden is, you could argue, is our most valuable player in that he can do anything. I mean, literally, you could put him on the field and he can play any position. He's really athletic. He can run. He can throw. Even on the days when he doesn't get a hit, if he does, he can beat out an infield single. If he gets hit by a pitch or walks, he can steal a base. He can score from first on a double. He can make a diving catch. He can throw out a base runner. And he's got some power for a smaller guy. On top of all that, tremendous competitor. When you watch him play, and then you find out that his dad is a high school football coach, you're like, well, of course. He plays baseball like a football player. He's very aggressive and, certainly has all the intangibles that you would expect from a successful high school quarterback at a really good football program. So we love Caden. Unfortunately, don't know if he's going to be available tonight. He's been fighting a hamstring issue, so we got him on Sunday. We'll check in today. It's kind of a day-to-day deal, but there's a decent chance that we'll, give him a couple more days of rest, to try to get him ready for the weekend.
No question, because you got to go to Arkansas. That'll be a tough one. But, Coach, I mean, I know when I spoke with you after the High Point game, you're talking about still developing your ball club. And you of course have you've given a lot of guys playing time. Since that time, Will Hodo has really started to assert himself as a fixture in your lineup. How is this team developing, both lineup wise and then pitching wise? Because a lot of times, you brought up a great point about the SEC. You got to keep your head down. You can't get discouraged. The league is so tough. The big thing is you want to get to a regional and be hot and healthy at the end of the year so you can make a run, because we've seen Auburn do it. We've seen the SEC. We've seen several SEC teams, Mississippi State, and then even last year, Ole Miss, the last team in the field, won it all. But talk about trying to still build your ball club.
Drew, you made a great point. Last year Ole Miss had a losing record in conference play. We're not just talking about one weekend. We're talking about over 10 weeks. They had a losing record, and they won the national championship. So you're right. It's just all about if you just get in the tournament, you can win it. And, I told our kids after the Florida series, hey, guys, you're not going to see anything going forward that you didn't see this weekend. I mean, we saw a starting pitcher throwing 100 miles an hour. We saw wipeout breaking pitches. We pitched the Caglione kid who's leading the nation in home runs. When you play in this conference, you see it all. So when you get to the postseason, you're prepared because you're not going to see anything in the NCAA tournament that you didn't see at some point throughout the SEC schedule. So, we are still building our team. And, if you do follow closely, you can see that we're starting to kind of narrow down our position player rotation. And, the two guys that have really stepped up the last couple of weeks that have made a real difference for our team. I think positionally, as you mentioned, Will Hodo is swinging the bat well. He's kind of won that DH job. He's a really physical kid. He's swinging the bat well. He gets extra base hits. He moves well for a big, strong kid. And on the mound, Cade Woods has really emerged as our kind of our shutdown closer. Closed out the win down in Gainesville. He struck out 7 guys in a row, was 94-97 with his fastball with a good breaking ball, and closed out our win on Sunday against Kentucky. So, we have other guys in the bullpen that we have confidence in. But, this weekend, if it's a one-run game going into the bottom of the ninth, Cade's going to get the ball.
Mm-hmm. What does it mean for this team to play up here tonight outside of going to Regions and Riverwalk? I mean, you got your road contest where you go to, but this is one of the few neutral site games that you have on the calendar. What does this do, and what does this mean for the program?
Well, we're so fired up to come play tonight. I think it's virtually a sellout. Probably will be by game time if it's not already. The greater Huntsville area is the fastest growing area in the state. It sure seems to be the best baseball area in the state at this point in time. I know there's a ton of Bama fans up there, and we hope that they'll all come see us tonight. And we're fired up about it, and certainly something that we expect to do every year going forward.
Well, we know you've been recruiting up here quite a bit, Coach. We're proud to have you. Safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you and the entire coaching staff and all the players, and especially the guys connected to our area, Hunter Morris, Caden Rose. There's a lot of connections with the Huntsville, Madison County area in Alabama baseball, and maybe hopefully even one of my all-time favorites, hopefully Jeremy Brown. If they don't have a game tonight, he'll be in the stadium as well, the head coach at Grissom High School. But great stuff, Coach. We appreciate it, and thank you for taking the time to join us this morning.
All right, thank you, guys. We'll see you tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Brad Bohannon with us, Alabama head baseball coach. Again, download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app, 6 o'clock, first pitch, Toyota Field. Let's get a break in. Phone lines are open, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just got a new wreck on Douglas at Rustic Ridge. That one's going to be west of Indian Creek. That one is coming in as an injury time. Got Oakwood and Pulaski Pike. That one apparently is a no injury, and they're reporting westbound 565 near County Line as clear now. Snelling needs an appointment setter. It's a very stable company in Northeast Huntsville. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Progressive presents an ad from Mom.
Hello? Is it on? Oh, okay. Bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive and get protection round the clock. Round the clock? Does this generation even understand what round the clock means? But I'm just saying, because don't come to me when they ask to do this over, because the kids won't get it.
Get round-the-clock protection when you bundle and save with Progressive. It's easier than getting your mom to make this radio ad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
One of the best-kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level, with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today, 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge. Championship quality, affordable prices.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats. Suffering from emotional pain and mental health conditions? Intensive Outpatient Programs, or IOP, is a rich addition to your continued individual therapy. Group members realize they're not alone and that others have similar difficulties. Hearing and sharing different ways to think and cope can be encouraging, empowering, and promote healing. In most cases, treatment is covered by insurance and no doctor referral is needed. Virtual IOP sessions available. Take your first step to wellness by calling 205-999-5247 or log on IOPServicesLLC.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Welcome back, Talking Ball. 77 ESPN The Zone on a Tuesday morning. We're going to be up at the Ledges today. It's Media Day for the Hometown Lenders Championship. Won't be long before we will be up there for the Ledges for the third edition
of Falcon Crest.
Yeah. We were up there and froze our butts off.
Bandy, you were like one. I'm just telling Benny, or he wasn't even born.
Oh, for Falcon Crest? Yeah. One football note, and we thought it was going to pass, but it's not going to pass.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, where analysts and other off-the-field staff members, they were thinking that this was going to pass where they could coach during practice. They could be on the field during practice and they could coach. There was great expectation that this was going to pass. And so like Alabama, Georgia, all these programs that load up on analysts, they'd be allowed to help in practice.
And that's what they were talking about. If Jeremy Pruitt came on the
staff,
now
there's a reverse of course there.
Yeah.
A wind of change blowing through that saying, hey, guess what? This is not going to pass. That the analysts will not be allowed to coach on the field. They will not be allowed to coach during practice or anything like that. Is that a big concern? Is that a thing that it's why are we
not really, because they've never let them do that anyway. So it's basically the status quo. The same thing is going to be happening. It's just, I mean, now if they had changed it, yeah, you'd have more sets of eyes and guys that could actually physically get on the field and help you, but it's not happening now. So it is what it is. You knew if there was something that could help the game, it wouldn't happen. People would be too paranoid about Nick Saban having an advantage or something and worried about it. It's like it piggybacks off what we said to kick off the show. There is not going to be much parity in college football, no matter what, how many rules they change or how many playoff teams they want to add. Sorry, you're still going to get your tail kicked. He ain't got enough resources, ain't got enough players. I mean, sorry. It is what it is.
256-576-4977. You want to join the program this morning, feel free to do so. Bill Conley has compared this year's Final Four run to that of the 2007 football season, wherein the top 5 teams lost to unranked teams a record 13 times, and the number 2 team lost in 7 of the final 9 weeks of the football season. That year, the SEC was a benefactor of said craziness because a 2-loss LSU team somehow squeezed into the BCS National Championship, and we all know what happened there. That would be Nick Saban beating Ohio State for the College Football National Championship. Interesting comparison.
Yeah, interesting. We will see. I mean, certainly I think basketball-wise, this is as strong as the program's been since the 5-year run under Mark Gottfried, but the difference is I think the coaching is much better. Trust me, I watched both programs. I think Nate Oates. Now, does he have some crucial hires to make? Yeah, because, he's lost some assistant coaches. But Coach Gottfried did as well. And one thing Coach Gottfried lost that they never regained after 2002 was he had longtime NBA assistant and player, plus he coached at Alabama, plus he played at Alabama, was a great player for Sam Newton. But he had been in the NBA a long time as a player and coach, was T.R. Dunn. T.R. Dunn came to Alabama for a year as an assistant coach, and I think had a big impact on how good Alabama was defensively. But he only stayed for 1 year, went back to the NBA, spent most of his career in the National Basketball Association. And so, he just I don't think Alabama was ever as good defensively as they were that season.
So the Big Ten has a big drought of winning a national championship.
2000, yeah.
Michigan State. But Connor O'Gara points out that the SEC, this year's run in the NCAA tournament, we need to basically start questioning how good the SEC is again in basketball. And he points out that the SEC earned its first number 1 seed since 2015, but yet that the SEC has yet to produce a national champion since 2014 and has yet to produce a Final Four team in the 2020s. If the streak ends next year, even if it ends next year, he says it'll be a decade between title game appearances. He says that's not coming to an end in 2023, despite the fact that Alabama rolled to a Sweet 16 and led by 9 points with the under 12-minute timeout against San Diego State. Is that a fair? Are we to the point where we question the SEC and its basketball presence?
No, they're getting better every year. The league had slipped, precipitously in the mid 2000s, around what I'm talking about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It was only Kentucky and Florida. Basically, it was Tubby Smith and Billy. Everybody else was bad. It was a 2-bid league. Think about that, 2-bid league. But Greg Sankey, and before that Mike Slide, but especially Commissioner Sankey. I've been critical of Commissioner Sankey at times, but one thing he did put emphasis on, and especially when the SEC network came along,
right,
and even before then, was he knew, and I think because he wanted to attract an ESPN to be a part of a network,
right,
he put a conscientious effort into improving basketball and making sure that hanging the Mike Trangisis, guys like that, okay, what do we need to do as a league to be better? And then he preached to the schools to commit to it,
right,
and to hire really good coaches. And that's why they're coming off of a season now. Yes, nobody got to the Final Four. We understand that. But you had 8. That's a record. You had over half the conference get into the big dance.
Is that why we're questioning it now? Because it's become to the point where the expectations are to get further, and that just tells you how much they've elevated the conference as a whole?
Well, I guess so, but you just have to keep plugging. You got to keep plugging along. Look at the Big 12. It was thought to be far and away the best league, Scott. During
No,
the
it was
regular
all year
season.
long. We even said it.
And it was. It's not that it wasn't. It was. But did they make the Final Four? No.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, Scott, to me, and I know hitting a baseball consistently is one of the hardest things to do in sports, and to hit 300. But as a team and just to do to accomplish in sports, I still think the hardest thing to do is to win the NCAA tournament and to win 6 games in a row. It is really hard because you got to stay hot. You've got to have some injury luck. You got to get a bounce here or there. I mean, look at the thin margin of error for FAU. FAU almost lost in the first round to Memphis if they didn't make a driving layup with under 2 seconds to go. Okay? San Diego State, they had to outlast Alabama. Then they had to get the foul call, against Creighton.
Right.
It's hard. I mean, remember Auburn's Final Four run. The first round against New Mexico State, if the dude makes the free throws, Auburn goes home in the first round.
And there is no Final Four trip.
There's no Final Four. But then Auburn got hot as a firecracker.
Yeah, they made going through number 1 seeds look easier than winning their first round game.
That's the most tragic thing. I mean, Chuma Okeke had developed into their best player.
Yeah.
And ended up being, if he hadn't got hurt, he went like 16th or something to Orlando. He probably would have gone to the lottery. And he was torching North Carolina. They would have had a very good chance to win the national championship with Chuma. And then he got hurt. And they still beat North Carolina like a yard dog. But still, I mean, it was an unbelievable run that almost didn't happen because the first round game almost didn't go their way. March is funny. It's why it's the greatest event in sports, in my opinion, because you never know how it's going to go. You never assume, we're playing an 11 seed. Who cares?
So don't worry about too much into the last of success from the SEC.
And now it's become even crazier. Twice in the last 5 years, 16 seeds have beat a 1.
And then there's some idiots out there that say, well,
one of them blocked me. One of them blocked me
because
I called him out because he said the NCAA tournament was watered down. Then he crawfished, and then he deleted it and then retweeted something or whatever, made another tweet.
Yeah.
And then I called him out for being a liberal turd who tried to get college football canceled, and he blocked me. And that's of course Stuart Mandel who talks like this. That's who has did it.
Add him to the list of guys that'll never join the show.
Oh, who cares? Like, what would he bring to the show except for Joe Biden's bathroom?
I think we're up to 3. I think we're up to 3 people now that'll never join the show. Yeah. Dan Woken, Stuart Mandel, and...
Well, if they join the show, Scott, that's when I'm taking a vacation. You can interview them, and then I'm going to go to the bathroom, what I needs to do.
Yeah, Jimbo Fisher will never join the show.
He doesn't know who I am. He just cut me off. He doesn't know. He talks too fast.
Olin Buchanan will never join the show.
Who cares?
The list keeps growing.
I mean,
okay.
We don't need propagandists joining the show.
What we do need is our final guest of the morning. We'll do that when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A little more cloud cover this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-60s. Just below where we should be this time of year, dropping into the mid-30s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A mostly to partly sunny sky through Wednesday afternoon. Again, a little cooler. Temperatures only climbing into the low and mid-60s. Dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight. More sunshine once again for your Thursday. Temperatures begin to climb a little bit. Highs hanging out in the upper 60s and lower 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
They are reporting that accident on 565 westbound near County Line as being clear. Oakwood and Pulaski Pike reported as a no injury. And we got Douglas and Rustic Ridge, that's west of Indian Creek. That one reported as an injury type. Expert heart care backed by advanced technology. When you need cardiac care, you need the heart doctor. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Now open, this is your invitation to experience the grand opening of ABIQ's new 10,000 square foot showroom. The best brands in home audio, home theater, and home automation. The place to see and hear and feel and listen and watch. The place where you can audition top brand audio and video equipment before it goes in your home. World-class brands now available in Huntsville. Come experience the difference. 1833 University Drive, just east of the Parkway at the all-new AVIQHSV.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner of University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Crimson Tide football. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com for all our great offers. And get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today. Because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide!
Now open, this is your invitation to experience the grand opening of ABIQ's new 10,000 square foot showroom. The best brands in home audio, home theater, and home automation. The place to see and hear and feel and listen and watch. The place where you can audition top brand audio and video equipment before it goes in your home. World-class brands now available in Huntsville. Come experience the difference. 1833 University Drive, just east of the Parkway at the all-new AVIQHSV.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
New coordinators.
That's as good as money, sir.
New quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
Same coach.
All right, and you all may be taking the week off, all right, this week, but I'm not.
We are your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. As we told you, coming up tonight at 6 o'clock on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Alabama baseball will take center stage. The Tide traveling to Toyota Field in Madison. 6 o'clock first pitch. Download our app today. They're going to take on MTSU, Middle Tennessee State. And Middle Tennessee State a year ago wreaked some havoc as far as non-conference games go. They notched wins last year at Auburn. And then got wins over conference foes UAB, Western Kentucky, Marshall, Charlotte, Louisiana Tech, FIU, and Rice. So this Middle Tennessee State squad qualified for the Conference USA tournament for a second year in a row last year. So they're starting to build. They're building up. This is going to be a good contest, a good midweek season game for Alabama.
Yeah, they have, no doubt about it. It's a series that they've played 29 times. Alabama leads 20-9, certainly, but they've played each other, on a pretty regular basis. They've competed against Middle Tennessee in college baseball. Middle Tennessee trying to make their first regional appearance since 2009. They've had some great players in their time, though, no doubt about it. Some great talent. I certainly can remember DeJuan Brazelton many years ago, who was a first-round pick of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And our next guest, I believe he's in his 37th year. He's been the longtime voice of Middle Tennessee baseball, also calls women's basketball and post-game football for their radio network. Mr. Dick Palmer has been good enough to join us this morning. He will be calling the game tonight as Middle Tennessee is going to take on Alabama and try to get a big non-conference win. They come in 11-12, 2-4 in Conference USA, so still very early in the season for Middle Tennessee as they're looking to gain a foothold in Conference USA. And Conference USA right now, Scott, in basketball is the hottest conference in America.
Yeah.
If you want to argue, we talked about in basketball that the Big 12 was the best regular season conference. The best postseason conference far and away is Conference USA, who's already won the CBI with Charlotte. They've got two teams that will be playing in the NIT semifinals tonight in UAB and North Texas, and of course Florida Atlantic in the Final Four. But Mr. Dick Palmer is now going to join us, and we're going to talk some Blue Raider baseball. Mr. Palmer, it's Drew DeArmond and Scott Theisen. It is an honor to have you on the show. Good morning. How are you?
Thank you, guys. I'm just fine, and on about my third cup of coffee this morning.
Well, it's going to be a great night for baseball. The weather looks like it's going to be perfect. MTSU making that trip over here to Madison to take on Alabama in what will be a fantastic night, fantastic environment for a little midweek baseball.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've not been to Huntsville in a while, and I've never been to the stadium there. So
yes, sir.
I'm really looking forward to that.
I think we're looking forward to it as well. It's a beautiful facility. Hopefully going to be a sellout tonight. I know Auburn drew well. They've been here a couple of times. They'll be Alabama's first maiden voyage and Middle Tennessee's. As we said, before you came on the show, sir, 11-12 record right now, 2-4 in the SEC. I think they just came off of a series with Florida Atlantic. But a ball club that's near the top of the Conference USA with over a 300 batting average as a squad. What's been the strength of this ball club so far, sir?
Well, obviously it's been the hitting, and we have an Alabama grad who's our new hitting instructor, Kevin Nichols, who
nice.
In fact, graduated from Alabama and met his wife there, and so he's new with us this year. Our head coach is Jerry Myers. Jerry was the pitching coach last year, replaced Coach Jim Tolman, who resigned, and Jerry was given the head coaching job, and he also remains as the pitching coach for the team, and he has a very good group of young pitchers, inexperienced pitchers, but he's bringing them along.
Well, let's talk about Coach Myers. He was with the program, but he may be his first year as head coach there, but he's got a lot of coaching experience under his belt, coming from spent a lot of time there as head coach at Old Dominion, kind of bringing a little bit of that, the old Blue Crew back to MTSU?
Yeah, something like that. He was head coach at Old Dominion for 6 seasons, and recently has been the pitching coach at South Carolina, and of course they've been to the World Series during his time there as pitching coach. He had gotten out of coaching for a couple of years. I think it was still in his blood, and when Coach Tolman called him a year or so ago and offered him the pitching coach job, he accepted it, and he's fit right in, and now he's the head coach. So he's got his own program going.
Well, and I know, speaking of his pupils, you're going to have a native of Gallatin, Tennessee, to start tonight, Jalen Wirtz. He's 1-0. He had a nice 5-inning performance in a win against St. Bonaventure. He's made 4 other appearances out of the bullpen. Mr. Palmer, what can we expect out of Jalen Wirtz tonight as he takes the mound against Alabama?
Well, you're going to see a young right-hander who has pretty good stuff. He's had a little trouble controlling it. He did pitch a week ago tonight in very cold conditions at Tennessee Tech, pitched an inning or so, and he has in his 9 innings of work this season, he's had a limited duty. He's been very good at times. In fact, of the 5 games that he's appeared in, the team has won 4 of them, so that speaks something for his ability.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, this will put an end to a 5-game road trip for MTSU. Luckily, it's not too far. but I can only imagine that you guys will be thankful to be back at home on Friday.
Yeah, we were 3 days in Boca Raton.
Oh, well, they're okay. Okay, well, I mean, there's worse places.
That's not bad duty, but we did not bring a win home, and that was disappointing. Had 2 games that went deep into the late innings, and we weren't able to win either one of those. But so we're looking to get back on track and have a conference series coming up at home this weekend.
Yes, sir. And one strength of this squad, for all 23 games for this team, you guys have had the same starting infield, which shows, the talent level that you guys have around the diamond. And, of course, Coach is obviously very confident in those guys. And, of course, and you're led by an outstanding shortstop, Brett Coker. I know he's played a lot of innings for you, but again, he right now, and speaking of the Florida Atlantic series, he had a huge series, hitting .583 against the Owls.
Yeah, he had a great day on Friday in the opening game. He was 4 for 4, and then on getaway day on Sunday, he had a single, double, and triple in that game. So he played third base for us last year. Never saw 1 inning at shortstop. So
wow.
they've asked him to make the move over there, and it's been a tough transition. He didn't have a very good series in Boca Raton, but then our team uncharacteristically made a lot of errors in that series. Gave up some. In fact, in the first game, we gave up 7 unearned runs. So that is, and before that, we had been playing pretty good defense. So that needs to come back, and hopefully tonight we'll get it straightened out.
And I know, of course, as we said, Scott pointed out that Coach is in his first year. He took over after being the pitching coach last year for Middle Tennessee. As he's taken over this program, I know I mentioned in the start that this program hasn't been to the regional since 2009, but what's the expectations for the program for Jerry Myers and this team this year? I know Conference USA is a good baseball league. As he's taking over this program, what's the expectations for the Blue Raiders?
Well, you are right. Conference USA is one of the top 5 conferences in the country as far as baseball is concerned, and now with Florida Atlantic's basketball success, and that town was buzzing.
I can imagine.
I can tell you that. By the way, just as a side note, the last team to beat the Florida Atlantic basketball team was who?
Middle Tennessee. Remember, Scott, they dropped the state. I think it's Middle Tennessee now. I always remind myself.
Well, my wife's a grad, and so when she says it, so it's just MTSU. It's just how it's said in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, back to your original question.
Yes, sir.
Coach he went out and got 7 or 8 freshman pitchers. So he didn't go the junior college route. He went and got freshman high school kids who were pitching high school baseball at this time last year, and he has thrown them in the fire. In fact, in the Friday night game at Florida Atlantic, he pitched 4 freshmen. Each of them pitched about 2 innings apiece, and if the defense had held up in that game, we would have been fine. But we had some defensive lapses, and it cost those kids some runs. But and the pitcher tonight, Jalen Wirtz, came out of high school last year, had a pretty good freshman year. Earned run average was under 4, and so I think Coach Myers is going to just bring these freshmen along slowly. He's not going to expect great things out of them, but under his tutelage, I think they will. I think they'll make a lot of progress this year, and hopefully that will bode well for the future.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at this roster, 28 of the roster members for this Blue Raider squad, freshmen and sophomores combined. I mean, that is a lot of youth on this baseball team.
Yeah, and even with that, we've got a couple of grad transfers who came in, and we've got 2 or 3 seniors on the team, and most of those guys, position players, get most of the playing time. So most of the freshmen and sophomores are pitchers or reserve position players.
No question about it. And as we wrap it up with you, Mr. Bond, we appreciate the time. What's going to be the key? Sounds like what Middle Tennessee needs to do, the timely hitting aspect is going to be there, but defensively they've got to make the routine play and not give Alabama extra at-bats.
Yeah, that's true in just about every baseball game on every level that you play. Going into the Florida Atlantic Series, the Raiders had been 7-1 in games in which they scored first. Now, at Florida Atlantic, we scored first in all 3 games, but did not win. So that trend came to a screeching halt down there. But I think, the stats are the teams that score first about, 70% of the time usually win the game. So that's a key, I think.
Mm-hmm. There's no question about it. Well, safe travels with Coach Myers and the rest of the ball club, sir. We look forward to your call. And of course, we're honored to have Middle Tennessee and the Blue Raiders come to Toyota Field, the home of the Trash Pandas, and take on the University of Alabama tonight at 6. Middle Tennessee's got a proud baseball history. You've called a lot of it, including the great DeJuan Brazelton, who I remember watching pitch when he was in college and was a first-round draft for us. But thank you, sir, and continued success, and thank you for joining us on Talking Ball this morning.
Very good. We're looking forward to the trip, and hopefully have a great game tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
sir. All right, let's get our final break in. Tomorrow's headlines when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looks like we're going to wrap things up this morning with one accident. This one's in Douglas and Ridge. That one reported as an injury type. Rustic Ridge is west of Indian Creek on Douglas. Everything else appears to be winding up in good shape. We got a lot of folks in last-minute dash mode this morning, though. Popeye's Shrimp Tackle Box has 8 of the crispy Louisiana seasoned butterfly shrimp. Put a signature side and a buttermilk biscuit with it, and it's only $6. Popeye's University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff, and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that His mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life, more important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental also specializes in day and weekend rentals to homeowners? The weekend rentals is by far the best deal that they offer. If you pick up after 2 on a Friday or anytime Saturday morning, it's not due in until Monday morning before 8 a.m. for a one-day charge. For a small fee, Valley can even haul anything they carry. Valley has extremely experienced and knowledgeable staff that can help you decide what size machine you need or what type of machine you need to get your job done like a pro. They have all the big items that the contractors need for their jobs, but they also carry the small tools that can help you with your DIY project. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and ask for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Sports Talk 24/7 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Our headline takes us to Baton Rouge this morning. This is kind of funny. A 19-year-old student, an LSU student, has been arrested after he and several others were caught on surveillance video carrying several cases of beer that they allegedly stole out of Tiger Stadium.
Well, that's what you get now for having alcohol in the stadiums, man. Now you got people ganking it.
Bryce Tellada was the owner of a black pickup truck. Campus police identified in the video. He and several other college-age males fled when officers arrived on the scene. They stole approximately $1,500 worth of beer, and police later found him in his dorm room along with the missing beer.
Of course.
Which he reportedly admitted to taking.
Oh, well. Good
you pretty much have to when they catch
you with $1,500 worth of beer.
That is a lot of beer to put in a dorm room.
Yeah, I don't think his little refrigerator probably wasn't big enough to hold it all, man.
Your little dorm size.
Well, I don't know what he did. He could have gone and bought a big Yeti or something, got some ice and thrown it in the Yeti.
Still wouldn't have been enough to hold $1,500.
Yeah, I don't know how much do they charge. They probably charge $9 a beer though.
Yeah, but I'm not. They're not charged. I mean, the $1,500 a beer is not how much Tiger Stadium charges.
I would imagine it's what they buy it for wholesale and then jack it up 3 times.
I mean, how much is a case of beer these days?
I don't know.
Bailey?
Kind of depends. What are you feeling?
Okay, look, he probably
Bud Light. How much is a case of Bud Light?
Bud Light.
That's probably like $9 or $10 probably.
Okay.
So
how many are in there? If you're getting like
he probably got about 150 cases of beer.
Yeah.
Must have had like a fraternity party that night or something. Like, it must have been a pledge, really stressing to get the alcohol for that night.
Trying to steal it from Big Enos Burdett. B-I.
Oh, hell. Let's go.
Oh, hell, I'm alone.
I'm out of here. We're out of here.
600 cases of Coors.
From Texarkana to Georgia. 24 hours.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit Woody